What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over a boatload of Scream 6 / we'll talk about the title, news. Now, there's a couple things that are actually like news related, and then I want to talk about some rumors / leaks. So I'm going to make it very clear when I jump over. That way, if you don't want to hear it, whether you believe it or not, if you don't want to hear it, you can leave, okay? But let's start with the official news, things that we've actually seen. Number one is the Hayden Panettiere thing, right? So she was on set. Now, I think she's been on set. I think detective work online has told us that she's been on set for quite a while at this point. She was photographed in the chair a couple days ago, but again, she's been there for about a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe before. Now, probably, I don't remember the exact day. Remember there was the day where they found on her Instagram that her location had changed along with Samara Weaving's. It had changed to Canada. It was a Friday. That was the day that she was actually there. So she's been there. I believe it was at least a full week, if not a little bit longer. But of course, this is the first time that we see her. We see her in her attire, and then we see her walking through, I believe it's not the actual college campus, but it sure does look like it. So I believe they're trying to make it look like she's walking outside of what you would consider a college campus, okay? So you see her doing that. I guess Mason Gooding, and which is Chad and Mindy, will go, I guess, by their names in Scream. They were recording as well. I think Chad was around a tree. Maybe they're trying to redo some of the Scream 2 stuff, which we'll actually talk about in the leak / rumor portion. So again, stay tuned, I guess, if you want for that. But very exciting. I mean, honestly, there's something kind of special to seeing Hayden. Like, although we know she's in it, right? Even like a Gale thing, like it. Courtney Cox is in. She's confirmed it she's confirmed it. Nobody else really has confirmed it, but obviously she's in it. And it's like, it's just kind of cool to see them, live and in action, whatever you want to say. But it was nice to see Hayden again, and I hope she kills it. I think she's very, very talented. I know she'll crush it. I just hope, and we've talked about this before, I just hope they do the right things, whatever that may mean to you or me. I know what I guess it means to me, to Kirby. I just really hope they respect that character of Kirby. I guess, again, please don't kill her off. I swear to God, please. So we had that. Next up is the title. So it does seem very, very confirmed. I mean, it's not, so you have to use like specific wording, but it seems like it's Scream ! Which, and you could see it on the, the action, whatever the thing is. I mean, it does look cool. I'm not going to stop saying that. My opinion, and it's very just as clean cut as this, I'm not a fan of it being called Scream 2. It's not called Scream 2, but this is just the most clever way of saying Scream 2. So that's what I've been saying for about a month now. It doesn't really hit me hard that, like, it was shown. I mean, it's a really nice, clean picture, so, like, you can clearly see what it's trying to be with, like, the blood, you know what I mean? So, you get to see it in, like, high definition, like, the best quality we have. But it doesn't like catch me off guard because we kind of already knew that from like a month, unless people thought, well, maybe it's not going to be the name of it, right? But I stand very strongly on what I said back then. I really prefer it not to be called anything Scream 2. I've always said you do Scream and then you do a subtitle, Scream subtitle, or you even do like Scream Again, Scream Forever, that kind of stuff. Either one of those, I think, would have, or here's a shocker, Scream 6. Now, I know Scream 2022 heard you can't call these 6 and 7 because 5 wasn't actually called 5. But I stand strong on that, where it's like everybody's going to refer to this as Scream 6. It's very stupid in a way where you're like, well, are you talking about Scream or are you talking about Scream? You have to emphasize it now. Otherwise, you're talking about 2022s. Or you could get confused that you're talking about 96s, right? It depends on, I guess, how you like voice yourself. So again, there's a couple reasons right there why I'm not a big fan, but we did get to actually see it. Third thing that's kind of confirmed and then kind of goes into rumors, but it's nothing that's like spoiler. So I would advise you keep watching as of right now, and we'll cut it off in a second. But the filming schedule seems kind of all over the place. I think Variety reported that the filming either goes till September 9th or October 10th. Okay, and people are like, well, wait a second. I thought it ended in August. I thought it ended at the end of this week. Now, Clips Comprehend, which is a leaker that a lot of people are going by, which we'll talk about in the leaking section, he has, I don't actually know the gender, so that person has spoken out and said basically what it is you have to give like a deadline. That is like the farthest you can go. So if you go farther than that, you have to extend the shoot. You have to pay more money. So while I believe Clips Comprehend said August 22nd, which is next week. It's not this week. So it may end this week. It may end next week. Maybe it's like additional shots are next week. Maybe all the actors go home at the end of this week. It's definitely possible. And then that's so. I guess it depends on who you believe, but it does make sense where it's like, yeah, I guess that checks out if you want to keep believing Clips Comprehend, where it's like, well, you say, well, we're going to film until September, but we're going to stop a couple weeks before because we don't want to go till the last day that we said, because then what if it goes a day after? We have to pay for that. You know what I mean? You have to pay for that. So that makes sense. So hopefully, I mean, well, not hopefully. This is all fun that they're filming. I mean, it's enjoyable, and I think we're in for a couple months of kind of relative quietness from Scream, considering once they're done, they have to start chopping things together, and then it's kind of just going to be rumors from that point on until you get the trailer and stuff, right? So this is fun. I don't really want it to end, but probably, I mean, I guess this week, next week. Originally, we thought it was this week, so sometime soon is when this is going to happen. All right. I want to talk about Clips Comprehend because, again, this person is rather trusted. This person's in like the Nev Campbell boat, talking that she's going to be back. This person's talked about other things as well. People tend to trust this person. Let me make it very clear. This is for fun. I did this for Scream 5. I like reading leaks. I like reading rumors, whether they're real or fake. They're fun to talk about. They're fun to speculate. That is why I do it. With that being said, if you want to turn away now, we're going to read a couple, just like the last 2 or 3 days that this person has posted tweets, and I just want to talk about a couple of them, okay? So 3, 2, 1, spoiler section. Here we are. All right, number 1 is from August 4th, and they say favorite callback, F you, Mindy, okay? So, obviously, very much Randy, and this got people talking in the comments where it's like, are they really gonna do this? And again, I guess this connects back to the whole tree thing. Look, when Hayden is walking outside, when Chad, I guess Kirby, if we're going to use it, we have to be consistent. When Kirby is walking outside and when Mindy and Chad are both by trees and by grass and all this stuff, I mean, it does, and I believe they filmed near a white van, too. That was something that was talked about as well. They were filming by, like, a white van. Obviously, you got people thinking, would they really? Now, here's the deal. Of course, it's always possible that they would literally just do the same thing. I just feel, although I am generally worried that they're sticking it too close to Scream 2, even though we've been told that they're not, okay, I still am a little generally worried about it. I find it impossible to believe. Well, like that callback line is fine. The death that would result kind of after it, you cannot do that, right? I mean, that's the stupidest thing, and maybe ever, to literally copy something that close. You know what I mean? It would almost be, I don't even want to use the Tara example because, for all the complaining I do for it being too close, 5's opening, which is one of my favorite openings, is very much like 96's, but I think it's very different. Obviously, the outcome, some of the things that happen in it, and I guess specifically the outcome is the most important, right? So, if they're having a conversation, if they call Mindy on the phone and whatever, and she says F you, as long as she doesn't get pulled into a van and dies at the end of it, maybe somebody else dies, you know what, as long as something like that happens, then it's fine, right? So that's the first thing I want to talk about. Oh, I do want to go over this. This was actually earlier, but I think this is important. So this is from August 2nd. People who receive calls from Ghostface: Gail, then Sam and Tara, as it's put on a speaker, Kirby, Mindy. So that's pretty interesting. Number 1, I assume that's in order. That's why I said it in the way that I did. Number 2, it's very odd to end it on Mindy. Now, I'd have to, go back and check, when's the last Ghostface call in general, for the whole, in each movie, who is the last person. I feel like it should end on Sam, Tara, Gail, or Kirby. It should end on one of the mains, but I'm not very strong on that opinion because I'd have to go back and look at which each one, because I can't remember off the top of my head when was the last call in each movie. Ending it on Mindy is kind of weird, specifically if Mindy says the FU line on the phone, then it's are they going along with the Randy thing where that's the middle-ish of the movie and then Ghostface doesn't call for the rest of the movie? Also, that's only 5 calls. That's I guess 5 calls. I think there were 6 if you count Sydney. Maybe there were 7, 6 or 7 in Scream 5. I want to say 6. Let's just go with 6. If you guys know the answer, you can of course correct me in the comments. But I guess that's not that bad. Depends on how long the conversations are, right? That's how it ends up going. I believe Clips Conferan also said there's no tech stuff on Ghostface this time, so I don't think he'll be, touching the thing to talk through it. I guess that's not going to happen, so that's kind of actually disappointing because I really like that in 5. But that's interesting. The Sam and Tara one is cool because of 2 people on, and again ending on Mindy I think is pretty interesting as well. And then the final tweet I want to talk about is the time span of the movie is the beginning of September through the first week of November. So that's I guess there's 2 main things I want to talk about regarding that. Number 1 is that covers Halloween, right? I guess number 2, because it's like so important when talking about number 1, is it's a long time, like all of September, all of October, and then into November. The first week of November, though, kind of tells me, in my opinion, like November 1st. It could be like the day after Halloween that the film ends on. So I guess that does tell us actually quite a bit, right? Because number 1, if it's true, if it's true, like that's a very long span of time to be taking place. I feel like that would be the longest of any. Don't most Scream movies take place within like a couple days? Actually, that is kind of interesting, right? Because when you think about like the Ghostface killer, and you think about maybe like realism and stuff like that, if they're killing so fast and they're kind of like jumping like the next day and all that stuff, like you can imagine, okay, well, it makes sense that they wouldn't be caught. But like if you go like 2.5 months and you're like racking up the body count, it's like, okay, well, why has nobody caught you yet, right? No DNA, like nothing. You've been perfect for 2.5 months, right? So that's a little bit, I guess, going down the lines of like realism that I'd actually kind of be slightly concerned about. But also, at least, I mean, it is different. I will give, and I've said this before, I'll give them credit for things that are different, even if I don't necessarily like it, like off the jump. So while I'm not thrilled, or I don't know really how to feel about it, it's new. It's new, and I will give them that it's new. Again, the Halloween thing is interesting, and again, I think reading into it, if it's true, the ending on the first week of November means to me that they could have the third act of the movie taking place heavily Halloween themed, right? Maybe not on Halloween night, but maybe like the week of Halloween, which would still have Halloween decorations like everywhere, right? You know what I mean? So I like that. I mean, I think that's a cool idea. So that's I don't know how I feel about themes in general. I mean, Halloween for like a horror movie makes a lot of sense. Christmas would be kind of cool. We talked about that possibility early on. Christmas would be cool. I don't know if I'd necessarily love it, but I don't watch too many horror movies, so I don't know which ones have pulled it off. But that seems to be everything. So boy, oh boy, we're getting there. Again, we got God knows how long. Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe another month of filming for all we know. But I'll maybe if you guys like this, I thought this would be a little bit different to do a video like this. If you guys did like this video, let me know. Leave a like. Make sure you guys are subscribed, all that good stuff, and we'll definitely do more of these videos as time goes on. Okay. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, including our Patreon or YouTube memberships, the links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.